I was never a fan of writing. Felt like every dotted I and crossed T was me poking and slashing at a sinking boat called my penmanship. I never wrote neatly. I took to hiding my words inside my mind, so when I write, it is for a reason. I've taken the time to explain my actions, so please, withhold your judgment of me until my words reach an end. Because judgment was never withheld from me. I was always something in the eyes of somebody. So many names were ascribed to me that I forgot my birth name. I knew what it was, but the word had lost its meaning. It's hard not knowing who you are. When it's like you're a puzzle piece, but for a completely different puzzle, and then this puzzle becomes a problem. I was always good at math. I knew that 1 + 2 = 3, and that them plus me equals we, but people had a way of making me feel like the -1 in the equation, like I was always part of the problem, never part of the solution. My mother always told me that the solutions to my problems could be found in God. But a 10-year-old trying to understand God is like an ant trying to understand the universe. I felt like an astronaut with a broken tether. My world spun around me, and praying to God felt like screaming into a black hole. I didn't understand the gravity of my situation, so I was ready to fall for anything, and I fell. And I felt like I was being pulled in every direction by anything that could grab me. When an ant gets lost and cannot find its way back to its colony, chances are it will die. It either freezes in the cold of night, gets attacked by another colony, or lives long enough to lose its purpose in life. When a child's identity gets lost, somehow all three of those things happen. My heart froze over, my peers destroyed my pride, and I didn't lose my purpose in life because I hadn't lived long enough to find that it was the walking dead. Moving about as if my limbs only serve my stomach, only serve my brain, only control my limbs, only serve my stomach, only serve my brain, only control my limbs. It would seem that my life was a wash in shades of black without my heart. My heart, the color of empty, the temperature of blue, the shape of a bottomless pit. Sadness was like a knot in my chest. Anger was like a knot in my chest. Despair was like a knot in my chest. And I allowed them to stay and tie me tighter, because feeling knots in my chest felt better than knowing what was not in my chest. I knew I was in danger. I knew I needed a refuge in my time of storm and a person to call out to for help, so I went to the one place that I knew. To a place where it was said that a child's faith could shake foundations, to a world where I should have been safe. But it's funny. It's funny how often wolves can wear woven sweaters. You would think that the church would be the place to be healed. I didn't know that death sentences could be spoken in God's house. I never liked writing. When it seemed like all of the language I knew was cruelty wrapped righteousness, I crudely wrapped my fusses in a box, hid my voice in a drawer, locked it, and threw away the key. That day, I knew there was no key to the door. I was home all alone. The only sound was the echo of my breathing. My eyes met the eyes in the mirror, and my mother always told me never to stare at strangers, so I looked away. The first 5 were difficult. The next 5, a little easier. The rest flowed like water. My stomach was full. The bottle was emptied, and I threw the family Tylenol into the trash. I knew that Costco sizes were more than the recommended dose for a child, and I was praying that it was true. I had been the walking dead for so long. It was time to give my legs a rest and peace, so I laid my head on my pillow for one last sleep. I tried to kill myself. I tried to transition myself into a better existence because I knew for a fact that I was alone and that no one understood me. So when I woke up the next morning, it was a splitting headache. I was angry. I woke up, I looked up, and I screamed, "God, why won't you let me die? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of being misunderstood. I'm tired of not feeling. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being tired. It's impossible for my life to change." The thing this 10-year-old didn't understand about God is that he specializes in the impossible. See, I lived under the assumption that no one had ever or will ever experience what I was going through. But Isaiah 53 verse 3 says that he was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with the deepest grief. They turned their backs on him and looked the other way. He was despised, and they did not care. When I read that, it was as if Jesus himself wrapped me in his arms and told me that he understood me. He told me his own father had to turn his face away from him. He told me that he was betrayed, he was ridiculed, he was spat upon, he was beaten, he was hurt, he was misunderstood, he was alone. But he endured all of that willingly so that I wouldn't have to. He gave his life life so that I wouldn't take mine. I don't know who I wrote this for. You might be sitting in the front row or standing in the back of the room. You might watch this online or read a transcript of my words, but if you find yourself where I found myself, unable to find myself, I want to introduce you to a man who knew your identity before you were a thought, and his thoughts were for your salvation. His plans were to prosper and not to kill you. He wants to give you a hope and a future. His words are a lamp for your feet and a light for your path. He sticks closer than your own blood. His blood took care of your sins, your guilt, your pain, your shame, your fears, your tears, your worries, and your cares. Give him your cares because he cares for you, and he knows what you are going through. You are not alone. That is a lie from the pit of hell. There is not a single thing that you can experience that will surprise God. I am walking again. But I'm no longer part of the walking dead. Jesus resurrected my heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and now I am among the living, and he wants to do the same thing for every single person in this room. And he promises that if you but give him your heart, he will never let you walk alone ever again.